reawaken to your immortal identity and discover life between life's wisdom. Presented by the Michael Newton Institute. Welcome to Discover Life Between Lives Wisdom podcast. Today's guest is not only a past life regression specialist, but she has a strong personal interest in shamanism, and she combines regression and shamanic practices in her regression therapy. Tulin Etyemez Schimberg is from Turkey, where she has her own school, the Unicorn Transformation Studies, where she mainly teaches regression therapy, ancestor healing, shamanic practices, and women's studies. Tulin is board certified with IBRT as a level 4 past life regression specialty. She's one of the founding members of the Earth Association for Regression Therapy, where she has served on the board for 7 years. And now she's on the program committee organizing the annual conventions of Earth every year. Her personal interest in shamanism led her to be trained by Leo Ruthford, Juanita Puttyfoot, and Mark Wentworth, and she found herself having a lot of personal experiences from her journeys. Inspired by Sandra Ingerman, she started to give lectures on shamanism in India and Turkey. Today, she's the president and a board member of BI Foundation and also of the Metaphysical Investigations and Scientific Research Society in Turkey. Tulin believes that by healing the past, we heal the present moment and the future. And I couldn't agree more. Please enjoy this 3-part episode with the incredible Tulin Etyemez Schimberg.
In shamanism, we hear that the directions, yes, whether it's north, south, east, west, which are your cardinal directions, or if you're looking at the northeast, the southeast, the northwest, the southwest, these 8 cardinal directions have a significance. In a simple way, if you can explain for all of us, what is the significance of the 4 main and the 4 secondary, or maybe all 8 cardinal directions, because they do have a lot of details and they do have so many aspects, so many layers attached to each of them.
Yes.
So if you can just explain.
So let's start from the south, because shamans not only dividing in upper, medium, and lower, and they were also having the perspective of 360 degrees. Yes. And they start mostly from the south. South is the place of the water element, and it represents the childhood. And our childhood is the past, so it is also place of the past. And it is also place of the wounded child. And as a child, we are wounded with different ways. That creates our emotions. So when we go to the west is the direction of earth, the element of earth, and it is the place of the mother, but it's also place of the earth mother. So all the body problems, we, like as a soul, we have a kind of be born as a child, and then just west is the earth, so we are bodying there, so we create our body there from the earth element. That's why all the illnesses also related with west, and also womb experiences in the mother's womb, all the experiences are also related with this direction. And when we go to the north is the element of air, and air is the mind, and our thoughts, beliefs. And sometimes, we created like thought bubbles. We says, oh, he did blah, 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 blah. We have all blah, blahs. and then it creates beliefs, and we stuck in our beliefs and judgments.
Yeah.
So here is the place to work on the concentration problems, mind problems,
Focus,
if
clarity
you
of thought.
like thought problems, or let's say that you can not see clearly in life,
clarity of thought.
everything is dark. This is the also place of the future.
Yes.
So the future is kind of dark and unknown. I don't see it, and that's why it is also place of the North Star.
Yes.
Because whenever the sailors in the ancient lives, whenever they were losing their way, they were taking the North Star to find the way. So if you are lost in life, if you cannot find your direction, this is the place to journey to find your way. Then when you go to the east, east is the element of fire, and fire is the soul, and also represents the father. And it also represents our connection with our soul. So like one side is spirit and fire, another opposition is earth, the earth mother. So this is the soul has a purpose. So the soul needs some materials, some background materials. That's why southeast is the place of the ancestors. So it is, or actually past is coming from the ancestors, or karmic patterns also related with the ancestors. And opposite direction, northwest, is the place of the karma. It is the universal law. So like the soul using ancestor by the rules of the universal law of karma, then you are kind of creating a body and born as a child. And then you go to the dreams, to the southwest. Southwest is the dreams. So we create a life, and let's say you select a job to study or profession to study, or you got married, or you have desire to have that kind of car, that kind of life, that kind of place or profession. So whose dream what you are living now? Is it your dream, or was it your mother's dream, or father's dream, or grandmother's dream, or somebody else's dream? So most of the time, for example, we face that, oh, this is not really, it was not my idea. Like I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher, but I was too successful in the school. They said to me, either you will be engineer or doctor. And in the university exam, we have an exam in the university. I did math much more than the biology. Then I got my choice of first engineering. That's why I find myself in engineering. So whose dream was it? It was not my dream. But by living that dream, I actually, my pathway brought me to real pathway of me. It was a kind of, it looked like somebody else's dream, but by realizing that dream, my soul was manifesting what I needed to be now. Without passing that whole other ways, maybe I will not get that experience. So my soul was also actually in a spirit level, everything is kind of helping each other, and it's a kind of serving to each other. So my mother's dream was serving my soul to be the Tulin as now.
And also, Tulin, you had to go through all of those experiences, all of those, we may see it as your mother's dream, but as a soul, this is the mother you chose.
Yeah.
To go through those experiences, which could be her implanted dreams, to enable you to become who you are today. So all that you went through, it's a part of your journey, which brings me to my next question. that
I
when we
want to
come up,
finish the last
yeah,
direction, which
please,
is
please.
the northeast. And
Yes.
it is the place of the choreography of your life. So when you have your own dreams, then you can change the choreography of your life. So by going
Choice of
through
change.
whole the circle, actually it's the life of the circle. So then the soul is kind of in a spirit level. We make all the life plans, we choose all those. Then in LBL sessions we ask why I choose that mother and the father, why I choose this country to be born, what is my life purpose, and what is my relationship issues or kind of thresholds I need to pass through, and why am I attracting all those repetitions in my life. So when you go through all those map, all those directions, actually you see that nothing is for coincidence.
So
And
true.
it is also helping the soul for the spiritual evolution.
Yes.
That's why that shamanic map really nicely overlapping with the all regression work, all spiritual work, and all of our LBL work as well.
Wow.
It is so nice that the knowledge is there, and we just forgot that knowledge. That's why I just don't, because in the tribes, you born as a shaman, and it is not easy to be a shaman. You have to devote yourself whole of your life to the your community, your tribe. So now we pass through that level of experience. Now we are also coming the end of individuality. That means in the Western life, we see more individual people. When I go India or Middle East, Turkey, we are more stick to our community, to our family, and etc. But with the corona, we had to all separate it. We stay all individual again. So I was kind of thinking, what is the purpose or what is the meaning from the other side? It turned our projection to inside mandatorily. And because we were too much busy outside, then we turn inside to face again what we are doing. Am I happy in that relationship or not? Am I doing enough for the kids or not? Is it the really job I want to do? Is it the really, am I in the right pathway on my overlapping with my spiritual life plan or not? So that's why now many of the people, okay, maybe return to the all the things back, but what I see a big amount of people also now trying to change those perspectives and changing the life to different directions. So
It's true. I think we've all learned from that. And I think for a lot of us, there's an intrinsic change that one has gone through. So you can't really go back to who you were in 2018 or 2019 because of the evolution or the change which came about due to the internalization. We're all looking at our own lives differently. The next thing that's constantly playing in my space, journey. When we're looking at these 8 directions, and as you said it so beautifully, LBL, journeying into the afterlife, journeying into the soul's path, and checking what our guides have to say to us, what we need to learn from our guides, sometimes even our ancestors. We've even encountered some of our power animals, and it's so beautiful when a client has just literally encountered the power animal for the first time. Now, in an LBL session, when we're going into the realm of spiritual regression work, how have you combined these two? Because after studying with you and being a LBL hypnotherapist myself, and I practice, as you know, the whole ECA curriculum, the TASO curriculum, the curriculum that we've learned with the Michael Newton Institute. And with that, I learned shamanism with you. So now combining all four together, it's a very layered experience a client goes through, because then even when we're journeying into the session, many times we have had to do womb work. We've had to do inner child, wounded child trauma work. We've had to go into the past life, and then through the Tasso method, we've also worked on the past lives, inner child, the subpersonality unhealed of the past life, helping them. And their elements with the spirit guides hugely have helped, because so much closure we have noticed clients go through in that very, very precious, very sacred space they share with the spirit guide. And as you said rightly, sometimes you have one spirit guide, sometimes you've encountered spirit guide, you've also encountered ancestors. And all this in the LBL also follows until you go into the meeting with the council. Now, when you're practicing, how do you combine, or how do you fuse the two? I know it gets done, but I just want you to kind of demystify it, if I may use that word, for our viewers.
Of course, I don't use shamanic work for the first time comers clients. So
True.
I do intakes and I try to learn what is the need of the client. And then I, like as you mentioned, I do inner child work, this life work, and past life work, and sometimes ancestor work, working with 7 generations ancestors.
Yes.
And so after those level, after many experiences, then the client can see his or her repetitions in the cycle of the past lives.
Yes.
So, and also, for example, let's say some clients has more repetition as a leader figures or warrior figures or healer figures. And so whenever we come to the point that to see more overall picture, then I see the benefit of the LBL at the client. Then because you work already about the issues mother and father, or you work all the issues also, so many past lives and karmic connections, and you saw that, oh, what kind of issues also you carried from the ancestor lines, mother or maternal or paternal. So at the end, when you have, like, it's like a puzzle. You just work one puzzle, then you do another puzzle, but to bring that whole the puzzle together, LBL is very important role. Then you can look from above.
Yes.
And then it gives you more higher perspective. Then you can bring all the pieces together. Then you see the whole picture. In that time, shamanic work with the drum, kind of, it's also cheerful, something different. It is not kind of still and deep meditation, but it is kind of dynamic meditation. It is very dynamic work. So, and it is interactive. So with the drum, the brain of the client is already at the state you want to reach, and in a couple of minutes you can reach to there. It is also shortening the process of the LBL.
Yes,
Induction.
The induction gets shortened.
Because I know that Michael Newton had long inductions.
Yes, very true.
But do we have really now those 5-hour sessions as he was doing in the past? So to reach, I'm an engineer. Like when I like hypotenuses, shortcuts. I want to go to the end results. I want to go to my target with the minimum effort, maximum distance. So then I'm using drum to shorten, fastening the process. So then that with the drum, with the power, I use also power animals to help to journey to the upper world, to meet with the spiritual guides and the helpers. And they also show themselves in different figures. And of course, then we have a intention. What do we want to learn? What do we need to get as a profit from that session? What is the client question? What is as a therapist, you also have questions,
Yes,
to be asked on behalf of the client.
Yes.
So that journeying to the spiritual realm, really, it's a different frequency. So it helps the shamanic help also make it easier, and you can reach to that resonance
much faster.
quickly, faster. And also when the client sometimes hesitations, let's say that they have actually they are angry to themselves, and sometimes the appearing guides or the goddesses can be quite judgmental and rude, or how dare you do it, and etc. Then it is the material of the person's unconsciousness as well.
Yes.
That it's the representation of the unconsciousness, and sometimes the soul, in the soul level, or own beings using those images to give kind of warning, a kind of internal shock. So that's why I use shamanic work also to search what is the meaning, why your spiritual guide is angry to you, what is the meaning. Or I want to share my own experience.
Please.
When I got married, I was 39, and my husband is 16 years older than me, and he asked me, do you want a child? Until that time, I always wanted to get babies and children. But whenever he asked, oh my God, I was kind of freaking out. And so we did a lot of things. It didn't work. And 2 times I got IVF. I didn't want to feel sorry after. But in me, I always knew that the children, something was not really fitting. But I was keep working on it, and I was spending too much energy to it. So I made this journey to meet with my spiritual guide to ask them help. So with that shamanic journey, I was in my imagination, I enter from a safe place, and then I call my power animals to help me. And then there was an eagle, as far as I remember, helping me go higher and higher in the frequency, because I was kind of a rocket. I was going far out from the world to the other side of the universe. Whenever I was kind of moving fast, layers were kind of going away from me, like a rocket. You go, whenever you go to the space, you are, releasing a lot of tanks and layers and layers. So whenever I was at the other side of the universe, and a light appeared as a guide, but I was not able to conversate or to see. And then the guide asked me, in which figure you want me to show myself to you? And I remember Bruce Willis' Fifth Element movie. In Emma Chaplin was in a space creature and singing arias to the space beings. Maybe I saw that movie more than 15 years ago, but why it appears 15 years ago whenever my spiritual guide, it's then I saw the guide turn to a space being with extensions and etc. I was laughing, and my guide was also laughing as well. I said, yes, this is my guide. Not too serious, can laugh. I can make jokes. Then I can trust that guide. So, because what I figured out, it is my imagination, it is my material. That's why my guide also wanted to show me the guide, that spiritual guidance system is using your own unconsciousness material. So, and then I ask, in this life, do I need to get children? And my guide said, you promise us to do something. You have a duty. When you are coming, when you were planning to come to the world for this incarnation, you didn't plan to have a child. But it's up to you. Either you get a child or not, you will complete your duty. It's your choice. Oh my God, it was very heavy. So I was kind of coming back very speedily, putting all the layers on again. Then I figured out, oh my God, to be in this hydrogen level of the material world, you need to put layers to have the resonance of this magnetic field of the earth. So it's a different resonance. But what I learned, why it was heavy for me to have that decision responsibility. If the guide could tell me, oh, you will not get a child or you will get a child, the answer will be easy. But when you say you choose, then you need to giving that decision, that responsibility, then it was quite heavy. So it is also for me quite, that experience was quite similar with one of my LBL sessions. So, and I did it in all those, what happened was in 15 minutes. So that's why, you know, I try to use useful techniques, useful things, and I check where they are coming from. Then I adjust and apply to my experience and practice. So that's why I see that they are all together serving to the spirit, the journey of the spirit in this world. And the answers sometimes comes different ways, but then we need to learn our own symbolism, like the dreams, that spiritual work, shamanic work, LBL work, or regression work has all its own symbolism, its own language.
Yes.
So we need to learn our own beings' language to communicate. So instead of giving the power to the outside, it is like direct connection, direct guidance from inside. That's why I find it quite valuable to combine it. And in my practice sessions, if the client is, I check the, how we say, is it easy for the client, visualize, when I do it, is it easy? Can we journey together with that way? So not for every client, but in my practice, I use it also a lot.